Okay, so hello everyone and welcome to our training. I'm Crystal Dave Villanueva, the new customer ambassador here at Lumu. All right, so before leaving you with Juan Pablo, who'll be giving us the demo of Lumu's newest functionality, I want to give you all some context on what our training will be covering today, which is Lumu Defender. All right. Okay, so some of you may be asking, what is Lumu Defender? So for a quick review, we have 3 tiers: Lumu Free, Lumu Insights, and now Lumu Defender. So Lumu Defender is our newest tier, which includes all the features that you get with the free account and Lumu Insights. The first 2 tiers gives in-depth visibility into compromise detection, while Lumu Defender will take that to the next level by combining visibility and the features with new automated response capabilities. So that's kind of what we're going for here at Defender. Okay, so now I'm going to show you using this diagram. I'll show you how Defender works. As you can see here, when the attacks occur, they enter your security architecture, which is made of an array of third-party tools, right? So Lumu Insights then measures the outcome of that system, which is all the compromises that manage to contact adversarial infrastructure. And collectively, these represent your level of compromise. Okay, and then after that is the next step of the process is where Lumu Defender comes in. Defender now gives you the option to integrate and feed that information of your organization's unique compromise level back into your cyber defense architecture. And it gives you the ability to take action automatically. So Juan Pablo will actually explain later how to automate these responses in his demo. So by closing this feedback loop here, Lumu completes our vision of application of controlled theory in cybersecurity. All right. So now you may be curious as to how the integration process works for Defender. And we're going to show you now. All right. So with Defender, we have 2 forms of integration. So here we have API, and we also have out-of-the-box integrations. With out-of-the-box integrations, it allows organizations to integrate their entire cybersecurity ecosystem directly through Lumu Defender API. All right. While out-of-the-box integrations is something that is pre-configured by Lumu engineers, so you can feed the confirmed compromise incidents to specific cybersecurity vendors. So this would be something like Palo Alto, Checkpoint, and others with just a few clicks. And our team will also provide documentation for these type of integrations. We'll also be periodically adding more out-of-the-box integrations with more cybersecurity providers. So, keep your eyes peeled. Okay, now for the show you've all been waiting for Lumu Defender in action. I'd like to welcome Juan Pablo Sanchez, our customer success manager, and he will be showing you today everything about Defender. So, hey, Juan Pablo, how are you doing?
Hey, Siri, I'm really good. How are you?
I'm fantastic. Thank you again for helping me that earlier. All right, so I'm going to give the session over to you. Take it up. It's all yours.
Perfect. Awesome. So let me just share my screen here and we'll get started. All right, so here I am in the portal. I'm just going to access here. Remember, so today we're going to try to focus on the APIs, the integration, the Defender piece of Lumu, but I still want to give you guys an overview of the portal, how you would use the portal to do some kind of like to see the compromise level of the organization in a very easy and simple way. So remember that when you log in, you're going to be presented with the overview dashboard here. The overview dashboard contains very, very useful information. This is kind of like the snapshot of the compromise level of the organization. I'm not going to dive too deep into this, but remember you have your activity dashboard, and this is the representation of the compromise level of the organization across time. So The gray area in the background means information Lumu has processed, and each of these bars represents malicious contacts or contacts with IOCs or adversarial infrastructure that someone inside the network has had. Remember, you can play with this a little bit if you want to only see, for example, today. This is in real time, so I can see exactly what's happening now and how my organization is doing right now. Or I can go with the last 7 or 30 days or whatever I want here, so I can look into it with a little bit more detail. And I also have my distribution information, which is the high-level picture of how those contacts are distributed in my organization. I want to know who or which assets are the ones originating those contacts. In this case, really quickly, I have that we had 7 million records processed by Lumu, and out of those, we've seen 68 malicious contacts. And if I click here, I can see how those contacts are distributed. I have contacts from my lab group, my operations, my sales, and so on. So this is also going to be very useful if I want just to take like a high-level picture of how the organization is doing. And going back here, we also have information about latest incidents. So right away, the portal is going to give you information about the IOCs, domains, URLs, all that stuff. Very useful when we want to start doing an investigation of a specific IOC. How would we do that investigation? Remember that the first thing we suggest you to do is go to the incidents module, and in here you're going to be presented with the list of incidents that you can start working on. Keep in mind that this orange bar on the left of any of the incidents represents that the incident has not been opened yet. So maybe depending on how you want to operate the portal and how you do your cybersecurity operation, you would maybe focus on the ones that are not open, or maybe you want to focus on specific types of threats or specific groups in the organization. And you would do that by using these filters here. So you can, for example, filter by label or group, which can be a specific business relevance, low, medium, or high, or it can be a specific group like operations, marketing, finance, for example. So remember, you also have that possibility. You can also apply a filter by type of threat. Let's say I only want to see command and control. So this is going to pull up only the incidents that are command and control associated with my operations label. So I also have that possibility to start working on my incidents here. All right, so that's an introduction to the portal here. But what I want you guys to pay attention today is to the integrations model. So this is something we released not long ago and allows Lumu to do different things. One is going to allow Lumu to respond to these incidents. So anything that Lumu sees, we're now going to be able to automate response to your current cybersecurity infrastructure. For example, if you have a firewall and we see this malicious domain here, we could automatically push this IOC to your firewall. So you create a rule automatically there as well to start blocking any kind of contacts with that site. This is going to be very useful because if there is, let's say, a ransomware attack or a data exfiltration attack, you definitely want to stop any further contacts with that site right away. And that's going to give you time and comfort so you can do your investigation in the actual devices with a little bit more time, knowing that maybe the threat is contained because the firewall is already doing that blocking. So to do that automation, we leverage what we call Lumu Defender, which is using the APIs we provide to automate that response. So I'm going to go here to my integrations module. And in here, I have two different sub-modules here. I have my API module, and this is going to pull up very basic information about my API. So I'm going to have my API key here that obviously is going to be needed for me to code that integration. This API module is in which I can code my own integration. So if I have the resources or I can actually do the development myself, I can leverage the Defender API that is available here. And I also have some interesting resources, interesting articles here that are going to guide me through the process of coding that. The first thing I have is my Get Started. So this is going to give me the introduction to the Defender API. Basically, more information around what I just mentioned, how the Defender API helps us close the feedback loop, because we're going to be able to communicate directly with your cybersecurity infrastructure to automate those those responses in this case. So you're going to have here all that information, very detailed as well, and you're going to see information about custom integrations and use cases, like, for example, integrations with firewalls or preventive controls, SIEM and source, endpoints. So we can also communicate with EDRs as well. So basically, we can communicate with any kind of system that receives IOCs and can actually or can have the capabilities, has the capabilities to respond to these IOCs or do something about them. So we just need to figure out the technical details and APIs and all that stuff, but we can definitely communicate with pretty much any kind of system. When we're ready to start actually doing the actual coding, we would go to the core concepts of the Defender API. And I'm just going to open this one on another tab because it contains a lot of information. So this is going to be very, very technical information about how to, for example, access the API, how to authenticate, and how to work with all the different modules we have available in the API. So this is where you are going to see all those technical details about requests, responses, parameters, and all that information that is going to be needed, required for coding that actual integration. So that's also available there as part of the documentation. Okay, I'm gonna go back to the portal. Besides this APIs that are available for you to do the integration, we are also constantly working on some out-of-the-box integrations. So we're constantly releasing new integrations with different types of systems that customers or users of Lumu Defender can leverage at any point. To see those integrations, those out-of-the-box integrations, you can go to the apps module here, and you would see some of the available and configured apps that we have here in the portal. In this case, right now, we have integrations with out-of-the-box integrations with FortiGate, Palo Alto, Checkpoint. That means that using external block lists, for example, with FortiGate, we're gonna start blocking automatically those IOCs in the firewall. These are just some of the available apps we have right now. I'll be showing you in a moment an example using another one, which is Cisco Umbrella. As I said, we're constantly working on more integrations, and they are going to be released and published here, so you can leverage them at any point. In this case, I have, as part of my configured apps, all of this. I can leverage as many as I want. This means, for example, that I have 2 integrations with 2 Palo Altos, 3 FortiGates actually, and 1 Checkpoint as well. So remember, you have 2 ways to use or leverage Lumu Defender: via the API to use with any system you have, or if there is an app available, you can also leverage here from the portal. We can start blocking those IOCs right away. The other thing I wanted to mention about integrations, APIs, just so we are clear on the types of APIs Lumu offers, is the data collection API. So if you go to collector and you go to API, you're going to see another module we have here, but this one is not for response. This one is for collecting metadata. If you have a system that generates network metadata that we are not monitoring and you want to push that data to Lumu for additional monitoring, you can do that by using the API. So under collectors, you have API, you have the different types of, you have the different custom collectors that you have deployed. In this case, we have our elastic collector and our umbrella collector here. And this basically means that these two collectors via the API are receiving and processing metadata records. So I think it's very important to understand that Lumu Defender offers the response APIs, which is what I showed before, but we also have available our custom collector API, so you can push data to us directly. So that's going to be very, very important. All right, so now what I'm going to show you is how these integrations would work in a real case scenario. So for this case, we're going to be looking at two different machines I have here. One is using my firewall, my FortiGate, and the other one is using my Cisco umbrella. So let's take a look at each of those. This one, for example, this machine right here is using my firewall. And as you can see here, we already accessed this site, which is a malicious site, and I'll show you in a moment in the portal. But this machine has connection capability, so was able to reach this malicious site. From my Cisco umbrella machine, this one right here, we are also accessing this site. So we were also able to communicate with it. And if a malware was running in this machine or the other one, that means that the malware would be connecting to the command and control server, for example. So let's go back to the portal a moment. And this time I'm going to go to my activity dashboard. Activity is where we see the detailed information about those malicious contacts. As you can see right here, Lumu caught and reported this domain, this IOC. So we saw the incident for it. So we saw that someone is contacting or trying to contact that malicious site. So what's going to happen is that, or what should already have happened is that Lumu pushed this IOC using the API to the systems I have integrated. So to my Fortinet and to my Cisco umbrella. So let's take a look at how that works. I'm going to copy this site, and then I'm going to go to my firewall administration, and I'll show you how it looks like here. So let me enter my credentials here. Okay. And here in my firewall, depending on how the integration happened, I would probably go to my security fabric, which is where we ingest those block lists. I have my external connectors piece here, and I would see that we have a thread feed called Lumu Defender IOCs. So this feed already has 284 entries that are valid here. If I click view entries, I would see all the different domains Lumu has pushed to this feed in this case. So I'm going to enter the domain, for example, we saw before, and here it is. This is has already been created. It's a valid entry. So that means my Fortinet should be blocking this specific site. So let's go back to my machine and check what's happening now. So I have the site here. Let me just open another tab, and I'm gonna try to access again. And the browser is already giving me a warning here. Let's just work around it, try to reach the site. And as you can see, my FortiGuard, my firewall is blocking me to access that site. So the firewall is doing what it's supposed to do. That means my feed, my integration, and Lumu Defender prevented me from having any further contacts with that site, which is what we want, which shows how we automated that response using my firewall. Now let's take a look at the Cisco umbrella. So I'm gonna switch here and go to umbrella here. Let me just log in. And when I access here, Cisco umbrella, I'll go to the module in which I manage these lists. So if I go to policies and then go to destination lists, I'm going to see all the different lists I have created here in Umbrella, global allow list, block list, which come by default. And I also have my Lumu block list, which already contains 132 domains. So let me access this one, and I'm going to paste my domain here and see what comes up. All right, so this means this domain has already been added to this block list, which means any machine using Cisco Umbrella should not allow me to reach that site either. So let's go to my Umbrella machine and check that out. Okay, so I'm gonna do the same. I'm gonna copy this and I'm gonna paste it on another tab, and you'll see the same error or verification warning from the browser, but I'm still trying to access the site. And as you can see, I have a bit of warnings, and then Cisco Umbrella gets in the middle and tells me that this site is blocked and I cannot access it. So that means all my efforts in trying to prevent any further contacts worked. My response was automated, and using two different tools, my firewall and Umbrella, I was able to mitigate a little bit the impact of this IOC, leveraging the Lumu Defender API. And just before I forget, I'm gonna go back to my portal. And the last thing I wanted to show you is how easy it is to integrate, in this case, the firewall. See, so if I go to my apps module, I'm going to see the available apps I have. And what I want to show you is that for FortiGate, we do the integration using the block lists mechanism. So that's a very simple mechanism to use the integration with FortiGate. So in this case, I'm going to go and see the details of this specific integration. And what this is going to pull up is this URL. In the case in which we're using external block lists, which is the case of FortiGate, the only thing we need is this URL that we're going to just configure in my FortiGate, in my firewall, and it's going to start pulling those URLs automatically into the thread feed here, and it's going to start automating that response. So this is very, very easy to do. Remember, the only thing you have to do is go to apps. Then you can just add a new app here, let's say FortiGate, activate integration, and that's it. You just need to add the description, the thread types you want to add, because you have the possibility to not block everything. Maybe it's only going to be command and control. You're going to let the other go through because maybe you're doing some testing or some different reason. So you have the possibility to do that. And that's going to give you the link to your own block list that you can use in your firewall. All right, so that's all I had prepared for today.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Juan Pablo. We really appreciate that. That was a really smooth and nice breakdown. So thank you guys so much and have a great one. Bye.